From Aurelius to Tolkien, from mythology to psychology, the devil figure has served for generations as a warning sign against the internal forces that lead a person to failure. How can they be neutralized to live a life of growth, action, and clear-mindedness? A fascinating trend has recently circulated on social media. People asking artificial intelligence, what strategies does the devil use to prevent humans from succeeding? The answers they receive, though adapted for the digital age, contain ideas that are by no means new. In 1942, long before his beloved fantasy series The Chronicles of Narnia was published, British author C.S. Lewis wrote a brilliant and entirely different book called The Screwtape Letters. The book consists of letters from an old, wise devil to his young nephew, revealing the secrets of the trade, how to tempt humans into self-destruction, without them even noticing. Through witty and intelligent writing and a wealth of psychological insights, Lewis holds a sharp mirror to the human weaknesses we all know. One strategy the devil suggests is to create mental paralysis through fear of failure. We want him to be in maximum uncertainty so that his mind is filled with contradictory pictures of the future. Nothing is as good as suspense and anxiety for barricading a human's mind against the enemy. Our business is to keep them thinking about what will happen to them. Letter 6. In another letter, the devil speaks of procrastination as a highly effective weapon. You can keep him rubbing his eyes and fumbling with his slippers and shuffling to his bath and shaving and dressing and searching for his prayer book, until by the time he is on his knees, he is more concerned with the time and with his strengthening appetite than with anything else. Letter 12. The devil also teaches his nephew to use what we now call negativity bias, the tendency to give disproportionate weight to negative experiences over equally intense positive ones. When two humans have lived together for many years, it usually happens that each has tones of voice and expressions of face which are almost unendurably irritating to the other. Work on that. Bring fully into the consciousness of your patient that particular lift of his mother's eyebrows, and let him assume that she knows it annoys him and does it to annoy. Letter 3. And no less important, damaging one's sense of self-efficacy. The devil explains to his nephew that he must make the person believe they are incapable of withstanding effort. The sense of hardship can be intensified by suggesting to him 100 scraps of false consolation. And then, when he has come to expect the pain to end in 5 minutes, make it last for an hour. The devil says humans tend to feel that a certain effort was more than he could bear. And finally, the demon's favorite pastime, distraction through desires and pleasures. You must make good use of the temporary lull. Encourage him to use it as an opportunity for sensual temptations, and if that fails, at least for depression and despair. Letter 13. Although this is a fictional text, it's hard to deny the difficult truths. Fear, procrastination, negativity bias, damage to self-efficacy, and unfulfilled desires are all real obstacles that have long accompanied humanity, preventing it from living a full and meaningful life. So, what can be done? We have gathered some of the theories and research that can help counter these challenges. 1. Fear. In a famous parable by Franz Kafka, a man stands before a mysterious gate that offers entry to the law, a symbol of truth, destiny, meaning, or a higher order. The man asks for permission to enter, but the gatekeeper prevents him, claiming he is not yet allowed, since the gate is open before him. But any such thought is stopped by a threat. Even if he succeeds in passing, he will face a line of even more powerful guards inside. Years pass like this. The man sits by the gate, waiting for a permission that never comes, not daring to take the risk. Moments before his death, he asks the guard why, in all these years, no one but him has asked to enter. The guard replies, "This entrance was meant for you alone, and now I am closing it." The man realizes in that moment that the gate and the law were meant only for him. The opportunity to live, to know, and to realize his destiny was unique, but he missed it. Ironically, the fear of failure was worse for him than failure itself, because it paralyzed him and prevented him from acting before he even tried. Kafka's warning is relevant to all of us, as we've all found ourselves in a similar position, aspiring to achieve goals, small or large, but hesitating to act for fear of financial failure, damage to our reputation, social rejection, or being turned down by others. Professor Martin Covington of the University of California found that the fear of failure is directly linked to how we evaluate ourselves. According to him, failure in performance means, in the eyes of the individual, that he is incompetent and therefore unworthy. When a person sees failure as a threat to their personal worth, they will do almost anything to avoid it. Dr. Carol Dweck of Stanford University found a similar pattern in her research. After interviewing thousands of children, students, and adults, she explained that when we believe our abilities are fixed and unchangeable, the fear of failure intensifies. If I believe that what is, then failure is not just a temporary mistake, but painful proof that I am a failure. Dweck called this a fixed mindset and contrasted it with a growth mindset, the perception that our abilities are flexible and can be improved, and that failures are just stations on the journey of learning. Someone who adopts a growth mindset does not see failure as a stop sign, but as another step on the path to progress. 2. Procrastination. Hamlet, the hero of Shakespeare's tragedy, is considered one of literature's most prominent procrastinators. Hamlet is commanded to avenge his father's death, but his endless thoughts and reflections cause him to postpone the act again and again. His prolonged hesitation leads to missing decisive moments, and when he finally acts, he does so hastily, causing the loss of innocent lives. Indeed, the Greek poet Hesiod wrote in antiquity, "Do not put your work off till tomorrow and the day after. A man who puts off work is always wrestling with ruin," an ancient reminder of the danger of avoiding action and the self-destruction it can bring. In the modern era, too, procrastination does not contribute to our quality of life and often seriously harms it. In the context of employment, for example, it is significantly associated with short-term employment, low wages, and an increased risk of unemployment or part-time employment, as revealed by a comprehensive study of about 22,000 participants. 3. Negativity bias. Po, the panda from the movie Kung Fu Panda, is anything but a typical hero. He is overweight, insecure, lives with his father who runs a noodle restaurant, and secretly dreams of becoming a kung fu warrior. When he is chosen by chance, or so it seems, as the Dragon Warrior, everyone around him focuses on his shortcomings. They ignore the fact that Master Oogway, the wise and respected master, chose him intentionally. Master Shifu, who is tasked with training Po, also focuses only on the negative. He interprets every failure of Po's as proof of his incompetence and ignores the positive signs that have already been revealed in him, such as his persistence, creativity, and inner faith. Eventually, Po also breaks. He drowns in a sense of failure, focuses only on the dismissive looks he received and his difficult experiences in training, and ignores every moment of success. In professional terms, this phenomenon is called negativity bias. Psychologist Roy Baumeister and his colleagues, who investigated the subject, found that in a wide range of situations, bad has a stronger and more lasting impact than good. 4. Self-efficacy. Will Smith, in the movie The Pursuit of Happiness, 2006, where he plays Chris Gardner, a salesman with no formal education struggling to support his family, tries to vaccinate his son against one of Screwtape's most destructive pieces of advice. In one scene, Gardner tells his son, "Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something. Not even me. All right? You got a dream, you gotta protect it. People can't do something themselves. They want to tell you you can't do it. If you want something, go get it. Period." The devil, Screwtape, knew that undermining the sense of self-efficacy has a devastating effect. The Canadian-American psychologist Albert Bandura dedicated his entire career to researching this subject and found that when two people with similar talent and ability are compared, the one who believes in himself will achieve better results. 5. Lust and desire. J.R.R. Tolkien, author of The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, and a close friend of C.S. Lewis, articulated one of the toughest struggles humans face: surrendering to lust and immediate gratification. In a letter to his son Michael, who was a young artillery officer in the British Army, Tolkien warned that lust provides a short-term response, but in the long run, it leads to dangerous paths. It is not just a momentary choice, but a highway that the devil easily uses. The devil is an adept at using physical and emotional moods, and even at contriving them, he wrote. Sometimes these are overt instincts, and sometimes feelings that seem positive, like romanticism and even pity. Even after marriage, Tolkien added, the battle is not over. The satisfaction of the conjugal act will not cure it, just as the satisfaction of a meal does not cure hunger. When the initial attraction of a relationship fades, many men might mistakenly think they chose the wrong partner and imagine that another true soulmate is waiting for them somewhere. But often, that soulmate is nothing more than a person who is sexually attractive at that moment. Although Tolkien focused on sexual lust, the principle he presented is much broader. Our metaphorical devil tempts us time and again to prefer immediate gratifications over larger, more meaningful goals in the future. This is a deep weakness in human nature that has accompanied us since antiquity. Psychologists and behavioral economists call this present bias. They explain that when faced with temptation, a neurological struggle occurs between different brain systems. On one hand, the prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for logical control, planning, and decision-making for the future, and on the other, the limbic system, responsible for immediate emotional reward and momentary impulses. For more videos and to support the channel, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Goodbye.